Question. Truly, so are you using your phone?
Yes, using my phone to take a picture of jewelry with writing on it, but the jewelry's too shiny to read the writing in the picture.
So you should be able to hold down, like on your camera, like when your view of your camera or whatever, hold down and then change your exposure down, and it'll make it duller.
Or double tap the table or whatever's behind it.
Yeah, change the focus. That'll work too.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Monday Minds. Just stumbling in.
Welcome to Tech Support, where we solve all your technical issues.
Well,
it actually says live and recording right there.
We're 3 minutes early, so people maybe see it.
Well. They still need to know what they're
the
saying
actual intro.
If they jump in here, like.
Oh shit!
No,
I meant to share this. Give me a second.
I'll cut the first minute. People that might come in.
But it'll still be out in Facebook world, and we'll just be rambling on when they click it.
If I could skip ahead like 3 minutes. There you go. 3 people. Hey, you guys, look. So we're just like here early, just a little bit. Just so we can not be doing the rambly thing when everybody shows up. So yeah. Anyway. So we got like 2 more minutes. This is kind of a backstage preview. That works. Welcome to us fucking off and hanging out. We are in Dixon, Tennessee. We got Dicks on Donuts. But we're outside of Nashville, like 30 minutes or so. And that puts us like 6 hours away from home. So
we're on the way back from the Dallas Clapper Creator Convention. It was a good time. I had fun there. I got to spank a lot of butts.
Oh, Alice is here.
Hello.
Hello. So we're actually already live, but we decided to maybe let people trickle in. They trickled in and trickled the fuck back out. So
you went live.
I did learn that YouTube had the. Okay.
Oh.
Yep.
In and out.
Yep. Trickled in and trickled back the fuck out. Oh, okay, there's Alice. Okay. All right, let's try one more time. Oh, now you're invisible.
There we
you
go.
are.
I promise I'm not that upset about you starting earlier. I just closed the wrong tab like a dumbass.
The timing of it was great. Like, you went live without me? How dare it? Gone.
So, tonight, I'm going to make Dream talk a lot because Dream really wanted to talk about this one.
I don't think you're going to have to make Dream.
I'm not going to have to make Dream. Yeah, so Dream's going to be talking a lot. We got plenty to roll on. So,
to clarify, none of us make the other do anything.
I don't know. I make some people do things, but I get consent first.
And I gave blanket consent a long time ago, so.
I'm still trying to share this.
Of course.
Although I forgot what I was trying to share until I looked at the screen again.
Do be like that sometimes.
It's like one of my favorite phrases, like watching a monkey fuck the greased up football.
What?
I don't think that applies to Dream in any context.
No.
They're fumbling with the sharing. They've been trying to share it for like 3 minutes.
Look, I'm sharing to a lot of places, okay?
Okay. Fair enough. Fair.
Good job.
I don't need your fucking judgments.
No one needs it. Just get it.
Excuse you. I was like being sassy in your defense. Thank you.
Did I ask?
Fuck you.
All right. That's where it's like we're at a 4-way, 3-way conversation.
Well,
and it's hard to understand where all feelings are being directed to. But I understand.
Okay, that was totally not what I meant to say. That's just natural response for some reason.
The inside thought came out. That's all it was.
Defending you.
I'm not sure who all is on desktop. I'm on the phone right now, so it might be easier if somebody else can like manage the chat parts, like read some of those comments out. I don't think you can bring them up on screen when they pop up, but We'll find out.
Yeah. I've got the chat open. I can do that.
Oh. Let's see. Well, welcome to a strange edition of Monday Munch. We are not in our typical location. I think everybody else is, though. Hi, Becca. Today we're talking about what I dub the Unholy Trinity. And the fake doms, the alpha males, and the incels. And how fucking stupid they all are. That's a good synopsis, isn't it?
The Venn diagram of those three groups is a circle.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna jump in right here and argue with you already, Mister. The problem is that a lot of these individuals are highly intelligent and use it as a weapon.
They might be intelligent, but they're still stupid.
They're shitty. Not necessarily.
There you go. Yeah, shitty. That works even better. I was trying to behave.
Are you okay?
So, who, me?
You said you're trying to behave.
I've only had one Red Bull today and only had one Red Bull yesterday, so my body's like malfunctioning. And I had like 2 full nights of sleep. So, I don't know. I've napped. I've had sleep. I've had rest. I think it's all I needed was like the reset.
Wow, so you're gonna be behaved because you actually got some rest?
Fuck no. I was just bullshitting. All right. So,
Emphasis on the word
try. Attempt. Yeah, that's the best I can do. Oh. There's that Florida air. In case anybody didn't know, they put carbonation in the air in Florida.
So,
Arson, hello. One of my
I
partners
can.
showed up in
Okay,
chat.
I can handle it. I got this.
Hi.
Okay.
I learned the word this week because of our topic at hand. I didn't know what fucking incel was. I've heard it used, and I've known it wasn't a great thing to be called. I knew all that stuff, but I didn't know how deep it went into you being antisocial as well. That was an interesting.
Learned what it was from a fucking pop song. Not a pop song, but like a song in general.
Oh.
By accident.
Listen to pop music. It's okay. I listen to pop music too. You don't have to hide yourself.
Yeah, no, this really isn't pop music.
So before we get into like the tactics and shit these people use, cover like some main characteristics of who they are. We'll knock out like in order of fake doms, alphas, and incels. So the fake doms usually dominate or have dominance without consent. They believe being dominant in a relationship gives them the right to control or dominate their partner without enthusiastic and informed consent. That's a big thing you see. Entitlement. They think they're entitled to obedience, loyalty, submission, and have no regard for their partner's boundaries or autonomy. And most of the time, it incorporates emotional manipulation to maintain control of their partners, exploit their vulnerabilities, and keep them dependable. And we all dream dipped out. Like, nope, you know what? Y'all got this. There we go. All right.
My sharing was my downfall. I shared too much and got kicked off the screen.
So those are, I mean, I'm sure there's more, but that's kind of like the 3 best ways to describe what they do.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody else has any to chime in, they're more than welcome to.
I mean, in general, they're just a piece of shit that thinks they deserve whatever they want from other people.
Right. Well, that kind of sounds like the next group, the alpha males. I love those guys. I love watching alpha males do anything on TV.
Oh my god, I had someone send me like 17 videos about this earlier this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the most common or the most known one at this time would probably be Andrew Tate,
Yep.
self-proclaimed alpha male. There are others who look back
It's
at
always self-proclaimed.
do what?
It's always self-proclaimed.
Oh, it's always self-proclaimed. Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones. That quote: "Anyone who has to say they are the king is no true king." So, a lot of
Anytime we
times,
bring up Andrew Tate, we got to mention that he and his brother are both currently in jail for human trafficking.
yeah.
I
But like,
completely dodged a bullet because I was about to go on a date with a guy, and he was acted so nice and so kind and whatever else, and then he started sending me shitty messages between him and his friend, and when I called him out about it, he's like, "You're not supposed to act like this. Andrew Tate told me that women act like this, and you don't get to judge." I'm like,
Oh,
all right, have fun with that, I guess.
Oh boy.
goodness. So you're looking at, okay, there you go. You're looking at people that feel like they have social superiority. I need to like write better words. I have too much of a problem saying some of the words right. But they believe that they are better than others in all aspects, and most people are considered lesser than they are in like a social status, whether they rent their Bugattis or lease their jewelry.
Oh my god,
Or
I
pay
hate that
strippers
shit.
to come to their events, so it looks like they're surrounded by hot women.
Yeah, that too. You know, that's aggressively. That's the only thing. So when I think of like, so they disproved the concept of alpha males in a wolf pack. There's a male that is up in the ranks, but he's not considered the alpha.
Alice.
Go ahead, Alice.
So the guy who originally wrote that study even went back and went, I can't
He's the
replicate
one-
that. I was wrong.
Yep.
Because he did it in captivity, and that's the only way that they could do it at the time. The Sawtooth band of wolves was where they started to disprove that even more so, and they saw that the female, the mother of the pack, was more often the quote unquote alpha of the group. They had an example. They said the lead male stood up for a hunt because the Sawtooth pack had a massive land. They were still captivity, but they had so much land that they wouldn't have known it.
Mhm.
But the male stood up for them to go hunt, and everybody just kind of kept laying around like, whatever, dude. Like, we're chilling and having a good time, so relax. And then mom stands up, and she lets that little howl out, and everybody pops to their feet and gets ready to go.
Oh, wait, the one actually in charge said, we're going, shit, go, go, go.
Yep, exactly. Pretty much what happened, you know.
That's like when grandma gets the slipper.
Uh-huh. There you go. That is. Yep, that's the wolf equivalent of grandma getting the slipper. But now you do have a dominant male, like in nature. You know, there is usually like in a pack or pride mentality, there is some form of a leadership that is male and female that run together. Now, like in gorillas, I know the male is the dominant one of the species, but he can quickly be taken out by everybody else. Right.
You mentioned the pride mentality. In lions, most of the time, the male's job is to intimidate scavengers, while the women actually hunt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they run shit. They raise cubs.
I think it's funny that female lions will bite the balls of the males when they don't pay attention to them, and there's like 6 or 7 females this guy's got to deal with.
See, having a
I
harem is
just
not a good thing.
think humans are evolved enough for there not to be this alpha
And there isn't.
mentality.
No, what I'm saying is, if you're gonna act like a male lion, you're gonna get your balls chewed off like a male lion.
Some might like that.
Becca says they experience a toxic dom. We'll get more into that in just a second as well. But there's really not an alpha in the human species. The ones that are self-proclaimed, and they're often the weaker of men. And I say men because we don't really have the issue of the alpha women
Bitches.
or alpha females.
I'm a bitch.
So that's
Yeah,
like
no.
That type of person.
I have to disagree. We definitely have women who think they're better than everybody and act the same as alpha males.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
a guy can do it, a girl can do it, and usually more emotionally harmful.
It's not nearly as mainstream though. You know.
Well, yeah, we're here to not talk about the mainstream shit. We're here to talk about real life.
Let's see what else we got. So this word tends to trigger folks a lot. Gaslighting
But elves are very good at it.
is something that, and to piggyback off what Ray said, stupid was the wrong word. That most of these people, most of the alphas are highly intelligent. They just use their power for evil. But they think they're doing good.
They're really smart, but they tend to be insecure, and they weaponize the intelligence to mask the insecurity.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the other side, we're going to talk about one of my favorite things to get pissed off about. These people go out and they lease their jewelry and their cars, and I wouldn't call them smart for putting themselves in $1 million worth of debt to look cool.
But they look cool, then they get money to look even cooler, and they pay that shit off. It's a constant cycle.
Others.
They fake it till they make it a lot of times, and then somebody buys into that shit, and there they go.
Or they end up in jail and get butt fucked.
But
not a vibe, Jen.
For fraud.
They do the jail, whatever, but the butt fuck part's not a vibe.
I don't know. I think that they kind of deserve it. But when it comes to
no matter how shitty of a person is, I cannot stand behind anyone deserving being raped. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Dude,
fair enough.
That ain't what she means, though. When you say, I hope you get fucked by a cactus, that's the thing
not at
meant.
all what Jen said, Dream. Dream Jen specifically said they're going to go to jail and get butt fucked for it. And like that.
Well, it could be consensual.
If it's consensual, sure, whatever.
Cactus is different.
How about I take it back and you guys can all calm down?
All right, so the last group is my favorite, though. Incels. If you spend any amount of time on Reddit, 4chan, what are some other message boards?
Meta.
Meta.
You listen to Penelope Scott songs?
Whoa, excuse me.
Who the fuck is that?
Dream, why? Explain that.
Because that's how I learned what this word meant.
Okay.
It's in the song.
Okay.
What did you think I meant?
They were listing off places you could find incels.
Well, you can find the word in her songs.
That's fine. That's fine, Dream. You almost
I
did
don't know who
friendly
the fuck
fire
that
there.
is.
I know that I was supposed to be leading this conversation, but it seems like I'm leading it in the wrong direction.
Penelope Scott's like an indie half like synth pop artist that basically talks about being a young woman and how shitty it is to have to deal with men.
Oh, yeah, that's shitty.
Yep.
I don't like dealing with men.
Same. Well, no,
Mhm.
there are some men that I enjoy dealing with.
But incels, if you don't know what that word means, it's an involuntarily celibate person. Involuntary celibate. There you go. Fucking shit. I'm not with it.
Involuntarily celibate.
Yeah,
So-
that works.
If they want to have sex so bad, why don't they just go out with each other? They have something in common already.
Because
They
they
can
look at
build
each
off
other.
of it.
They look at each other and go, man, that person's no fun to be around. Why would I be interested?
Maybe we
Oh,
need to
man.
make them a dating website to find their true matches in misery.
Well, it's called 4chan.
That's not what I meant. I just want people to be happy, okay? Maybe they'll be happy together. I don't fucking know, okay?
So some key characteristics of incels. Misogyny is like almost the top thing. They look down on like so many women because women don't want to be with them, so they feel that sense of hatred towards women. Go ahead, Alice.
I just wanted to throw in just real quick, there is an incel dating website literally called Date an Incel.
Oh, okay. Well, at least they have that.
They often have a belief of entitlement. So they believe, they are entitled to romantic or sexual relationships with somebody.
Despite being shithead.
My favorite is where, they constantly bash women that have a social life. Oh, she's going out to the club this weekend. She's going to get fucked by 10 different men when she could be at home with a good guy like me.
Oh, yeah, no, now I know what you mean, and I hate that.
And they often have a victimhood mentality. They view themselves as victims of society and women and believe they're unfairly denied romantic and sexual relationships. So it extends beyond the celibacy aspect of just the sex. I mean, it's the relationship aspect for a lot of them as well.
Mhm.
But so to give anybody an idea, if they still don't understand what we're talking about, more often than not, you'll hear people call incels basement dwellers. They live inside of grandma's basement. And they sit on 4chan and they sit on Reddit all day and they just bash women and all that stuff.
Oh my god, I was going to say something really, really bad.
Do it.
You said basement dwellers, and my mind automatically went to, no, those are called weebs.
Let's go. What?
Weebs?
Weebs?
Yeah.
Left.
The
Not
fuck?
what I
Hello,
meant.
lab.
I
I
left. What's
laugh.
what's a weeb?
So, I isolated keyboard warriors.
Weebs
Sure.
are people who are into Japanese culture a little too much, that when they go to Japan, they really piss people off who live there.
Well, they're kind of almost a circle if you put them together. I would bet.
No.
There is little correlation to let me be way too into this one random culture and let me not acknowledge that consent is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say like it's just like from what I see of images at least. Like it's still those same types of people, but maybe not so aggressive.
So, the thing about weebs is that they get ladies. They get ladies all the time, but they're either into the same shit that they are, or they're 2D. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, I didn't realize I had so many comments pop up.
As a former weeb can confirm, you do get ladies all the time being a weeb as long as you're respectful about it.
Yes.
So a weeb is just somebody that's obsessed with like Japanese culture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That clears all that up. Good. All right.
That you said basement, and that was the first thing I thought of for some reason.
Incorrect.
Well, I know quite a few that had their whole little like anime figure collections in the basement. Like an entire wall.
How is that any different from having a plushie collection?
If it's in your basement, then I don't know.
I mean, it's not in my basement, it's in my office.
Well, I had a brain correlation, and this conversation is done.
I was gonna say, like I had to tell Alice last week, Dream, careful, you're entering Mr. Moment territory. Tread lightly.
Be careful, you are now leaving the website and going to a third party.
The problem is I just don't do the tread lightly thing. I just finish whatever the fuck I was gonna say, and then we'll deal with the backlash after.
Oh, there's gonna be a shit ton of backlash about this eventually.
I sure as fuck hope so. So, all right. So let's just herd these three together, because although what?
This is what I said when I said that we were going to have bumper cars later on, because there's a straight road we're supposed to be going on. We're bumping into each other with conversations, and the only reason we're getting back on topic is because someone set guardrails up.
Nice. We all turn back towards the common goal of what the fuck did you just say anyway? So let's herd these little fuckers together, right? Because they are, as Ray pointed out, they are all rather intelligent. Even your incels, because I mean, more often than not, your incels are very technologically inclined. They know how to do a lot of shit on a computer, because a lot of them spend a lot of time on a computer. Now, that doesn't mean all people that spend time on a computer are incels, but most incels spend a lot of time on computers.
Some of us just have a degree in cybersecurity and are just fucking nerds, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or video games.
Yeah. What really brings them all together is that lack of empathy and understanding of consent.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's the glue that binds those three fucks together.
I don't know that they believe they don't have empathy, like they don't understand it. I think they just choose not to use it.
And you can't use the word apathy, because they do have feelings about things. They're not non-feeling about these subjects.
Oh, usually they have a whole lot of feelings, and they tend to use them against you. Or against.
It gets gross real fast, yeah.
It's not a lack of feeling or a lack of understanding feelings. It's a lack of give a fuck about any feelings other than their own.
Mm-hmm. Very self-centered.
Which is wild, because they're still not narcissists in that way. Right? I mean, would that be fair to say? They're not narcissistic necessarily.
Not necessarily. Though many of them do engage in narcissistic abuse.
You do not have to be a diagnosed narcissist to engage in narcissistic style abuse.
Right.
Bye, Lav.
But so I don't know what else would put them all together. I mean, I said intelligence, manipulation.
Self-sabotaging. Like, if you're a dom who wants to find subs, go out there and talk about consent and have informed conversations, so you have enthusiastic subs. If you're an incel that wants a relationship or a sexual partner, go out there and make a connection and like establish consent and boundaries and go into that enthusiastically. And I've already forgotten what the third one was.
I know we're on a live right now, but I feel like we should have a seminar about this and just grab all these people, put them in a room, and get the like big whiteboard thingy and sell tickets. Because they'll come if you sell tickets. As long as you're putting money out there, they will come.
But it wouldn't work. Now, if you said they could meet like hot models and test drive a Lamborghini and all this
We're
shit, you
not
just
hot enough? What the fuck are you saying?
no, I'm saying like to spend time with these supermodels that you can rent from Instagram, fucking ride in a Lambo and do all this fancy shit that people think somebody with status should have. Nothing like that would work. Nobody would show up that falls in these categories.
So
Unless you can.
what you do is you advertise it as like a master class on like getting women
How to get women.
and then you just, once they're all in, you just lock the doors, big old whiteboard, and you just drop the curtain to reveal the word consent all the way across the board.
Who could define this?
I like it.
First one to define it gets to leave.
If you can define this, you get to drink water in the next 24 hours.
No. We gotta make it an escape room and put a bunch of puzzles in that lead to a healthy relationship.
We're trying to teach them, not kill them.
Well, why not both?
I mean, like, supposedly they're really smart, so they should be able to figure out an escape room together.
Yeah.
We just
You're
have to
right.
make an escape room.
All right, so moving forward with the next bullet point. Guardrail.
Well, before that though, like let's look at these three again. And so like your fake doms, I know I talked about those three main characteristics, but there's more to it than that. I got you. The three I popped out were words and such. Now, dominance without consent, entitlement, and emotional manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more to it than that.
I would like to add. Let me think of the words real quick. Breaking the law is probably not something that you should make your partner do just because you can.
Not just because you can, but some laws deserve to be broken, so fuck it.
Well, yeah, but like,
as long as you're doing a net good.
if you're making your partner do something they don't want to do and it's breaking a law and could put them in trouble, then you're not doing the right thing. If you're going to make your partner fake an illness or disability in public so that other people believe that's what happened to them, it's not okay.
No.
But that falls under emotional manipulation.
That falls under, we're going to manipulate more than just my partner. We're going to manipulate their entire workplace, their family life, everything else, their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think those three honestly really wrapped it up. I mean, we've talked red flags and what to look for in DOMs and stuff like that. We could always talk about more of that. That one's easy to go through.
Financial manipulation is also fairly common with fake doms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
Now, not to be confused with a fendom. Because if you go to a fendom, that's a legitimate person.
That's what you are consenting to be in that type of dynamic with.
Mm-hmm.
Unsafe use of medical and or other tools that are left in without supervision.
Yeah, no, never tie anybody up and leave them alone.
That's just
Never leave a
bad
bunch of needles in someone's ass and then not remind them that they're there at the end of the day, because they might not feel if you leave something in there until later on when they sit on it or some shit.
Ooh.
my goodness.
Like, mistakes happen, but if you're doing it knowingly, then it's a problem.
Right.
Don't surprise your partner with having left things in them.
Yeah.
Surprise, there's a rubber ducky hidden somewhere.
Do not force your partner to be something that they aren't Like, if your partner is dominant and not a switch and not a submissive, do not make them do it for you. Because a lot of people will fall into that, oh yes, I have to compromise for my partner, this is what they want, and, you know, they don't compromise for you back. I wouldn't even push that. That's a big boundary for me.
And there are some people who that's not a big boundary for. What matters is consent, right? If someone's a top, but they're like, you know what, I'll bottom for this person because I want them to have fun. If it's consensual, that's fine. Don't force them to do that.
Yeah, and I bring up these situations because I have been there before, and it sucks. And that's why I'm bringing it up in this context, because I understand, yes, people can do this, and it can be consensual. For me, it wasn't.
And I'm sorry to hear that, Dream. It is important, though, to caveat that if it's consensual, it's not necessarily a problem. It's just don't force people to do anything.
100%. You know what vocabulary I loathe hearing from any man's mouth? Female, unless it's like anatomy or like, you know, nature related.
I got a moderately shitty take on this one I got to put out there.
All right, go ahead.
Specifically only for me, hearing some shitty dude refer to me as a female the way he would a cis woman is very gender affirming.
Okay.
So like
That's fair.
Having to deal with misogyny sucks, but having to deal with misogyny instead of homophobia,
it's a trade-off, you know.
Specifically only for me.
That's fair. That's your own consensual take on it. But no, I know so many men that will call like women just females. Just, man, I'm tired of this female. Like, fuck, get out of here. Bugs me. That term it used to have like scientific connotation, you know, like it's a female lion or fucking female wolf. But these fuckers are out here just blindly labeling all women. Yeah, there you go. They use that as a slur.
Yeah.
They're not brave enough to use the word bitch. That's the problem. They still should refer to women as bitches, but they're not brave enough to use that word in front of people, so they sub it out for female.
Look, I don't care what anyone says, and this is coming from me, a person who was afraid of dogs at one point. Bitches are cute. I like bitches, okay?
Bitches are cute. I like all the bitches, all the kinds of bitches. I call inanimate objects bitch all the time.
I call myself a bitch, like in the way that you might use like the royal one, like a bitch put some dishes away, or a bitch got some homework done.
Right.
All the time.
I'm like today I dropped the cap off the water bottle and I'm like, bitch, get off the ground.
I have been trying really hard not to do stuff like that myself, because anytime I use a word in exchange for something else, I get in trouble.
Oh, and okay, you ready? I'm ready to take the heat from all the panels
Oh
here.
boy.
Oh, good God.
Oh no.
All right, I'll put my helmet on.
All right. I've already got mine on. If I tell someone to stop being a bitch, I'm not telling them they are a bitch.
Incorrect.
That is true.
How can you stop being a bitch if you're not a bitch?
Well, you're not a bitch. It's just being one of the moment.
There's a
the distinction you're
difference.
trying to draw here is saying that their behavior is bitchy. But if you're saying they're being a bitch, you are calling them a bitch. Right?
If you say that they're being a bitch, you are calling them a bitch. If you're saying their behavior is bitchy, it doesn't necessarily make them a bitch.
Too much effort. It's the underlying context.
Well, it doesn't take very much effort to hit you in the balls.
You know what, mister?
What?
Communication always takes effort. Communicate.
Yep.
I mean, he always tries to communicate. Sometimes a little too much.
You know what? Let me make myself look stupid here because I will immediately say you're not a bitch. You're just being a bitch. When I could have just said you're being bitchy. Like
Exactly.
the whole time.
The whole time
What?
you could go, you're being bitchy.
Mm-hmm.
But now
Ray, you
they
had your
still
hand up.
might take it as
Mister,
I'm
please stop
calling
talking
them
for
a
second.
bitch. I see that arm fold. What's up? What I do?
Ray,
You're good.
what were you wanting to say, Ray?
I was just going to say a better way of wording that would be what you said: stop being bitchy or stop acting like a bitch.
There you go.
See,
So
stop back like a bitch.
I'm gonna come out with the dream way of saying this because I can't word anything right, and I'm gonna get corrected automatically after saying this because I know all four of you will do it.
Oh no, I like to hear it. Let's go.
This to me is the same equivalent of me being raised to say guy and dude for everything.
No,
Yeah, that's just a common phrase.
no.
See,
Guys,
here's the
plural, is a
correction
group
I
of
said that
people.
was going to happen like 10 seconds before I said.
Look, it's all in where you're raised. Up north, everybody is you guys. Doesn't matter if it's a group
Okay.
of
I mean,
20
usually
women.
it's like,
Can I try first? Because I know you've got this, Alice. I know you do. But I'm going to try to word first. So that still doesn't make anything right. Any of these words that we're saying, just like my send them to prison to get, yes, you know whated. I won't say it again.
Thank you.
These are things that we may have heard a lot and have been ingrained in our way of speaking, but it's our responsibility to check one another and check ourselves and not say those things that could be pretty shitty.
I'm holding my phone right here.
Let me
I've got
ask a
myself
pointed
right.
question to kind of illustrate this.
My thing was shitty.
Mister, have you fucked any men in your life?
oh, I love the
No.
answer to this question.
No,
No?
Lies.
no.
Dream, we'll come back to that in a moment. So you fucked 0 dudes.
As far as I'm aware of.
Are you attracted to men?
Not that I know of.
Would you say that you have no interest in fucking dudes?
Yeah.
But if it's gender neutral, then why wouldn't that include women?
Well, oh, you said dudes. Yeah, okay, I got you there. I got you on that one. But guys are still gender neutral. I would walk into a room full of naked women and be like, you guys ready to fuck? Like, absolutely would. That's how gender neutral guys is to me. Now, dude is either like an expression of like, dude, or it's just like, dude, because she's a dude, he's a dude. We're all dudes.
I am not a dude. I am not a guy. I have
Yeah,
done a lot
see,
of work to get
this
away
is
from
the,
those two things.
This is the problem I'm having with Alice, which I respect, and I really, I put in really a lot of effort not to say it to you, like an extreme amount of effort, because that is just what we do up here. That is
And I appreciate
literally
the
what
effort,
we do. Up here, dude is a gender neutral thing. Also, the toaster can be dude, this lamp can be dude, the cell phone's dude, literally everything is dude.
Yep.
And it takes actual effort. Like, at least 30 minutes a day, I have to think about not saying dude anymore. Which I'm failing at right now.
Like, you don't have to not say it at all. It's
Getting
just
it
that
all out there.
It's not that you have to not say it at all, but if you're going to use it to refer to people, at least make sure it's gender appropriate, because there is a gender implication behind guy and dude.
Okay, but like that's
Correct.
not how we were raised up here. You guys live down south.
Listen though,
I get it though.
Just say y'all
Guy?
and call it a day.
Ew.
guy singular
Fuck
is
you.
for men. Guys is gender neutral plural.
I say you guys a lot, and I try to get
Absolutely.
away from it because
I walk up to a table of ladies all the time. But you guys ready to order?
Yep.
Yeah, we're ready. In 5 more minutes. Are you on the menu?
It usually ends up being something that normally only trans people care about.
Right.
Like,
But now, like I said,
just
I
the
do.
Guardrails.
That
Dream was
is
saying
the
something,
thing,
right?
though, because our society, and this might just like I know this isn't just me. Anytime there's multiple people, multiple genders in a room, it is more acceptable to use the male pronouns to address everyone than it is to individually say, "Hey guys, girls, non-binary people, blah 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 blah."
Easy. Friends and fuckers. Let me have your attention. There
See,
you
I
go.
prefer that one. I do prefer that one.
Gender neutral, and the
Defensive
entire room's
and-
going to look at you in 5 seconds flat.
Y'all.
Absolutely.
I said say y'all earlier, and I got an ew.
But see, y'all is a southern thing. West Coast ain't saying y'all. Up north, they ain't saying y'all. Midwest, they're
That's
not saying
because
y'all.
we get yelled at anytime we say it. You guys are like, "You're not using it right."
Refer to more than one thing as y'all. Boom, you used it right. That's the only way it works.
You guys is the equivalent of y'all for us. As long as it's plural.
Okay,
On
so-
an individual level, I have told you that is not something I'm comfortable being referred to as.
Yes,
Right.
and on an
Wrapping it up.
individual level, I think about it all the time.
That's the thing you do when you care for
Ready?
somebody else's feelings.
Which,
And
Yes,
to
I love
guardrail
you,
this,
and that is why I do this for you. It
to
is
jump in with Ray
communication.
into guardrail.
A good demonstration of communication on this live. I love you, so I stop saying that word to you.
Because love, trust, and respect form the foundation of any healthy relationship, right?
And I respect you. I respect all of you. Except
Except
Mr.
Mr.
sometimes, because he kind of...
I was going to say, don't insult me like that. What have I done to earn respect?
all right, now we're moving, getting
Guardrails.
back on the
Guardrails,
highway. We had a short little break off an exit, and
Look,
now we're
you-
back.
I'm,
You
I'm
can't
gonna turn
get
my
on the
camera off
highway.
for a
Your
few
car's
seconds for
broken.
no particular reason.
Oh yes, we can. We will be driving down the highway in the morning.
Oh, absolutely. We drove all day today.
We're gonna
Because-
putt down the highway like you did when you came back from New York. That is how this
Steve,
conversation's going.
We hauling ass going 70 down the
Okay,
road.
so
So let's talk about what distinguishes a healthy connection and relationship and a manipulative one. I mean,
Oh,
it
God.
sounds like something that would be obvious to the average person that, you know, they're very different. But some people may not know the intricacy of what makes them different.
Do you have like a prepared answer for your own question?
I do not. I was just like, let's figure out, you know, show some people how different they can be.
A healthy relationship is collaborative. Both
Very
people
nice.
are involved deciding what direction the relationship is going in. The abusive relationships we're talking about here, one person has what they want and the other person has to capitulate to them.
So, like an example, the little snippet of conversation earlier about Alice feeling emotionally targeted by a specific word and Dream trying to not use that word, that is healthy, that is them working together and communicating. To spin it differently, if Alice had just said, "Don't use that fucking word," without giving context, and it made Dream feel ick, and it was something that was essential to who Dream is, that would be abusive.
Dream, do you mind
Yeah,
if I
that
talk
would've-
about that conversation to expand on what Ray's saying a little bit?
What?
You
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So like the conversation that we had originally off stream Like I went, hey, this is what this word means to me, and I've done a lot of work to not be perceived as a guy, so can we not use that word? And like there was an ask. There was, this is how I feel, this is what I would like to have changed. Would you do that? Rather than stop using that fucking word for me. That's not fair, or that's not okay, or whatever other insult I might come up with. Right?
Alice is the queen of communication and asking for what they want in a civil manner.
Thank you, Dream.
Absolutely. Because had Alice or anyone said, don't use that fucking word, that's the only word I would have used for the next 10 minutes.
Well, you're an asshole, mister.
Right.
We talked
but,
about this. If someone accuses you of cheating, you're going to go cheat on them just to prove a point.
right.
Okay,
But,
wait.
you know,
I had another example because I want to see how this goes and see if I get corrected for this one.
Okay.
Because I just want to see the consistency here for a second. What is that relationship that's like ambidextrous, but for relationships with the monogamy and the
ambiamorous. I got corrected on that one. I'm aware.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So, Ray, what defines a healthy relationship for you?
Oh, fuck me.
I was talking to the other Ray, but we'll go with you this time.
I mean, presumably that'll be part of it.
Damn it. I wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
We've already talked a lot about it, but like communication, feeling comfortable with communicating on whatever level is needed by all parties involved, honesty, feeling safe communicating, not necessarily comfortable all the time, but not feeling like I'm going to be attacked for communicating a need, and not feeling like I would attack my partner for communicating a need. Trust is huge. Respect and consent.
Very nice. So now that we've passed through the buzzword, only if you're comfortable saying it, what's one specific thing to you that, like, this person, you know, it's a healthy relationship because this person is willing to bring you breakfast on Friday or whatever, or make your favorite breakfast.
God. I love breakfast in bed. Good God, that is how you get me.
Duly noted.
One specific thing to me. Being willing to have open and as long as necessary conversations.
Good. What you got, Alice?
My answer to this question would be boundaries. Like, you're not going to have a healthy conversation or relationship with anybody if the other person isn't willing to assert their own boundaries.
Okay.
And
how about you?
Go
ahead, Alice.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say, Alice. So I'm sure you'll word it better than I do. So carry on.
There's this aphorism that's kind of making the rounds because Brennan Lee Mulligan said it. A boundary is a gift you give to someone. Because like you could just fuck off and leave really at any point that you're physically able to do so. So like sitting down and having that talk about boundaries with someone is like this sign of mutual respect, right? Because you're going, hey, this is important to me. If this continues, I'm out. But I respect you and I want to keep you in my circle or in my life or in this relationship. So let's talk about what we need to change together around this boundary.
Very nice. Dream, what you got?
I think it's important that we share things that we like to do together and like find things that we genuinely enjoy doing together because it creates a good bonding experience. And in a not healthy relationship, it will just be one-sided or the other person won't try to like enjoy it, it will just be a nuisance, and then they'll ask, why did I have to come do this, which you
Ugh.
yeah.
So I can relate to Rebecca's comment there. Having those conversations, but also understanding your partner's communication needs and styles. Like if you have a partner that needs to shut down and process, but still be talking, that's something that you need to establish.
And that should be discussed ahead of time, not just something you expect your partner to have osmosed from you.
Osmosed.
Yes.
I love it.
God bless it.
Ray, stop breathing
How
on
about
that
you,
carbonation.
Rebecca?
There was
I will
something I
say
wanted to
just
say. There was something I wanted to say earlier because I thought it would be kind of funny.
Oh?
Go for it.
So, in a normal conversation with normal people, you know, the normies over there, I was going to say, you know, being called a bitch and a slut and whatever, being degraded isn't something you do in a healthy relationship, but I'm sure somebody here will disagree with me. And
If
I
it's
realized
consensual.
as I was going through this in my head, I was like, no, that's not necessarily true either.
If it's consensual and in a context that you've discussed ahead of time. Like if someone's got a collar on me and I'm sitting on the floor in front of them and they want to throw insults at me, fine, whatever. If someone is in the middle of a serious conversation going, you're so fucking annoying, why don't you stop? That's not okay.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, Rebecca, I'm glad you asked. That is nobody who watches this channel, so I wouldn't know.
You said I'll show your answer?
Yeah,
No.
boundaries are
Well-
very, very important.
Bad, Ray. Oh, I thought you had something. I'm sorry. My personal, it's a healthy relationship, is somebody that will try to guide me to better habits, but not judge me or control the unhealthy habits I have, as long as they're not damaging to the relationship.
I like that.
My 55 Red Bull a day addiction is mine. As long as my heart rate is still okay, I'm not dying, it's okay.
Oh,
I'm proud of myself. I've had 2 in the past 2 days.
I'm really proud of you.
As I'm sipping on my third for today.
Oh yeah, so you're making up for me. Appreciate it. Oh, there's more. My notes just went away.
All right,
So
I'll
that's
do
what
that
makes
in
a
a
healthy
minute.
relationship. You go for it. Because we'll probably be talking about this for a minute. Now let's talk about manipulation. What are some subtle signs and simple things people can do that are manipulative in a relationship?
Anyone in particular want to start?
Where are you when they call immediately? Not, hey, how's your day? Where are you at?
In an appropriate context, like if you're supposed to be home 2 hours ago and they're like having a panic attack because they think you got in an accident or something, maybe. But not
Right,
like,
but I mean just you're at work and they call, like, where are you? Like, fucking work. What do you want me to do? Something like that. That's in that context. But yeah, if you're like 2 hours late, then a where are you call might be acceptable.
Really anything where you're made to question your version of events. Like if
Anything? Sorry.
like if you have like a conversation that you might be misinterpreting, what you took in the moment is still how you experience that conversation. And if the other person goes, well, that's not what I said, fuck you, or why are you twisting my words, instead of, okay, well, let's talk about that and sort out where the misunderstanding was, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they immediately jump to me versus you over how you understand the things they say to you, that's pretty fucking abusive.
Yeah. Right.
A subtle thing that I have encountered a lot, like Rebecca just said, a tone or a tone or look of voice. Yes. Sorry, I'm a little scrambled here, but like.
No, that tracked 100% with me, and I just realized you said it. You said that's yeah.
So now, Rebecca, that's something that Jen and I go through, and it's not like it's. I guess it's okay to kind of talk about past something, like past things that Jen's dealt with. When I look at her and go, "Is that what you're wearing today?" I'm not saying you look like a slut or you look like shit. Why are you wearing that? I'm just like, all right, we're leaving. Like, are you fully dressed? It's just like what it is. I'm making sure it's complete and I'm not judging it. So it's like something like that.
Mister, I don't know that I believe you're not judging Jen's outfits, but I don't think I would ever see you say anything other than, fuck yeah, Jen looks amazing.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. But the day she doesn't feel like it, she's just like, I got on fucking some shorts and a t-shirt and slides. Fucking let's roll. Is that it? Like, do you put socks on too, or no? Or what are we doing? You want to wear lingerie out? Fucking roll with it. Is that the whole set? Are we going to have panties? What are we doing? I just need to know because we're supposed to be somewhere and you get mad at me when we're late. So I need to know how much time I got to fuck off.
No, that always fucks with me.
I know.
Rebecca's got a good one.
I never said that. Fucking.
Yeah. So like, if someone thinks you said something, even if they're wrong, you said something that they took to mean that thing that they're worried about. So you shouldn't go, I never said that. It'd be like, okay, that's not what I meant. What did I say that made you feel like that was what I was saying? And then like actually have that conversation as opposed to, I never fucking said that.
Counterpoint. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yep.
Okay, counterpoint. What if it's the person who's doing the gaslighting saying it?
Saying I never said that?
Yep.
Get the fuck out. Cut him out. Set him on fire, maybe.
Well, see, how do you tell the difference without being judgmental? Because that's how they get you.
So
They have you do exactly what you're saying, and then they do this thing where they twist it around. And it's the same thing except for from the opposite side.
Alice, will you repeat what you just said?
Which part specifically do you want me to repeat, mister, or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
So, if someone's going, I never said that, there's no context where that's good, right? Because if someone goes, I think you said this thing in a conversation, you should sit down and talk about it if it's something that they're bringing up and it bothers them. And even if they're wrong, or like you didn't mean it that way and they misinterpreted it or whatever, you still should have that conversation because they have that experience of you having said the thing. To address your question, if it's a person who's gaslighting you doing it, get rid of the person who's gaslighting you.
Absolutely. Without a second thought. Obviously, if it's safe to. And that's something, so, learning that I've had fucking traumatic things happen in my life, apparently. I'll do something or I'll say something or just whatever. I might get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And she might wake up and I don't realize she wakes up. And when I get back, I think she's like pissed at me because I wasn't in bed. It's not the case, but it's just like what I've expected. Mm-hmm. So I kind of almost get on the defensive. I used to, at least. I get on the defensive of like, what's wrong? Why? You know, I'm trying to get ahead of it. Like, why are you pissing me? I just had to go pee. Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, yeah,
So
but it's
that's
not
a
the
trauma
case.
response called emotional monitoring.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
You're trying to preemptively spot a change in tone or mood before the traumatic event happens.
If I can get ahead of it, then it's not a problem. If I can start it, she can't start it, so it's not her being mad at me.
Do you think that's
Just
a
kidding.
healthy
I'm kidding.
opinion,
Completely
Mr. over
kidding.
there?
So to go on talking about I think somebody said it earlier, about subtle tones and looks. Like,
Can I ask a question?
Depends on the question.
Oh, okay. So I can't then.
Maybe.
Depends on the question. What's the question?
So I want a consensus here because there's a way I think about things. Is
See?
manipulation always a bad thing?
No.
Yes.
There we go.
With consent, like you'd be like, hey, I see you've got some bad habits here. Would you like me to try to help you break those, for example? And then someone could, like, if there's consent and discussion, then you could like maybe slip in a word edgewise when they start doing something they want to stop doing. An example of this, an example.
Manipulation. Okay, give me an example first.
Lav has this real bad habit when they're stressed of picking at their nails, which they've asked me several times to help, like, not do. And I can't, like, physically go up to them every time they're stressed and just hold their hands. That's not going to help anything, right?
Right.
So it's just very quick, very, like, it doesn't interrupt the conversations we're having. I'll just go stop picking and then just resume talking. And that's what we've set up. But because I am trying to help them fundamentally change something about themselves and how they respond to stress, that is manipulation, right? It's an action with an intent to cause a change in another person.
I would like to give a really simple example of people who want you to be healthier. If I go out to the store and I buy a bowl of fruit and I put the fruit directly in front of where you leave your keys in the nighttime, and then you choose to pick up the fruit because I put it there on purpose, that's manipulation.
Technically, yes.
but what if the fruit bowl just looks good there?
If the intention
If
is
it's
to
not the
decorate and to
intent.
eat the decorations, that why? But if the intention is to make you like go, oh, fruit.
Yeah, it depends
Then
on
that's
whether or not
manipulation.
the fruit is real. Because if it's a decoration, I would hope you wouldn't just leave fresh fruit rotting on your counter for however long.
One would
Well,
hope, but
I would like to retract my yes. Manipulation's not all bad. And I'm not even thinking in the way of another person. Sometimes you have to manipulate yourself to have better habits. We were listening to Alex Ramosi the other day about it, and he said instead of going to the gym and like busting down weights your first day, for like a week, walk into the gym, look at stuff, see how it is. Do that like every day. Build that habit of going to the gym. You're not doing anything, and then one day you go in and you start picking up a weight, or you start walking on a treadmill. You have to manipulate yourself to get better habits sometimes.
that I would be so uncomfortable just walking into a gym and just being there. That first experience would keep me from coming back to that gym again.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a case by case basis, but the point was to start small. You know,
Go with
do
a
things
friend and
to build
spot
a habit.
them.
That's a good example.
There you go. Like, you know, just build the habit. So, like I said, I was telling her when we listened to that was, you know, I have a habit of walking into a store and going straight for the Red Bull. Went in to get her cigarettes and just stopped at another store that didn't have her cigarettes, got me a Red Bull and cigarettes there. Walk into that store, walk straight to the Red Bull cool and grab me another one. Like, I just bought one. Hadn't even opened it yet.
Stock it up for later.
Can I say something a little controversial right now?
Well, that's what Munch is all about.
Go for it.
So, our entire lives, we have been manipulated.
Mhm.
That's there's no doubt in that because our parents and our grandparents and whoever the fuck else is in our lives have decided our entire lives and our habits up until a certain point. So it can sometimes be like a lot of people don't think that it's ever happened to them, but really it has happened a lot. People use you at work to get ahead in their jobs. I would call that manipulation. There's so many examples that people never think about, and I just sit here thinking about everything all day long because I'm psychotic like that. But yeah.
Well, the average human psychology, so favors are the best way to do it, especially like at work. Do a small favor for somebody else. Humans in general are inclined to want to return a favor. If you do something for them, they're going to want to do something for you. Depending on the person, of course, but for the most part. So at work, if I fill the ice bin up for you, I might be able to get you to sweep my section later. You know, it's those kind of things. Like, I mean, that's manipulation, but it's not necessarily bad because we both benefit from it. You don't have to do this task because you're going to do this task later.
So I think the key difference in what makes it either good or bad is the intent. And to take it a little bit further than that, if it is something that is going to be, we'll say, uncomfortable for the other person, whether that uncomfortability has been consented to or not.
So let's get specific about the groups we're talking about tonight. So what's in the BDSM world? What's the manipulation a fake dom could use? Something subtle, not like something that's outright and anybody could look at and see it's manipulation.
Contracts.
That's a good one.
That's a damn good one.
Ray, go ahead.
Slowly taking over the finances.
Okay. Yeah. You know, it starts out with, I'll pay your phone bill this month. Matter of fact, we'll just put you on my phone plan. Like that kind of, the slow steps like that. Huh?
Targeting all of the newbies as subs as soon as they come in and ask you a question. You just answer question after question after question after question. You start asking questions. They say yes, 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 and all of a sudden they're in a relationship with you because all you've ever said is yes.
It's a yes ladder.
I was about to say exactly that. Yeah. It starts small, it gets bigger and bigger asks until you end up going, well, I said yes, last time, so why not move to another state with this person?
And for new people, you could be totally bullshitting the answer and they're going to believe you because you've been there longer than them. It doesn't matter if you just came in yesterday, you've still been there long.
Yeah.
Treat kink like a doctor. Get a second opinion always.
Everybody's an expert, right? It doesn't really matter how long you've been doing it. You can say that you've been doing it for however long and you have 20 years of experience. But if your experience is only 2 days worth of kink, you don't have 20 years of experience.
Experience doesn't necessarily mean you were experiencing things the right way either.
It doesn't mean you know what you're doing.
You could have been.
I can experience a shitty relationship. It doesn't mean that we're doing it right.
What is your epiphany, Rebecca? I was making the face at the word, not your. Never mind. Okay.
This knot is tied wrong. It's uncomfortable. No, it's not. It's in the right place.
If I hear a dom say that, I'm kicking their ass.
Okay, wait. I have to counterpoint that real quick. From experience, tying you up when you're doing suspension, it's going to get uncomfortable for at least a minute before they get you in the right position to make it comfortable again.
That's not the
Because
problem.
they cannot hold you up all over the place all the time.
That's
not
why
the
you have
problem.
anchor points.
The problem isn't, oh, it's uncomfortable. The problem is going, no, it's not. Telling the person that their own discomfort is wrong is the problem.
Yeah, no. The part I was saying is that the knot's in the right place. Well, the knot very well be in the right place. It's that part that you said that it's not hurting is the manipulation.
Right.
Rebecca, I'm so sorry if this is the wrong energy to bring in response to that, but fuck your ex. It's a good thing they're an ex now.
Yeah. Like, Jen's on my phone plan, but if she was ever like, I want my own plan, well, okay, have at it. Like, it's just easier for us to be on the same plan.
Yeah, I hate my ex for doing something like that.
But
He wasn't
it's
even
stuff
on
like
my
that.
phone plan. Apparently, you can just take people's phones, install an app, hide it in a secured folder, and never tell them about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why you don't let people touch your shit?
That's why you don't surround yourself with people that shouldn't be touching your shit. When you realize it, you unsurround it.
That's
Right?
why you
No.
don't go out with men that are like 15 years older with you the day you turn 18 and run away together. Because you were talking to him when you were 17.
Ick.
Yeah. So like the phone thing, that is honestly a big problem for a lot of relationships that are not very healthy and stable. Is defensiveness over the phone, snooping through the phone, stuff like that. But so like if Jen needs me to do something for her on her phone, I am 98% of the time right next to her doing it. You know, it's not because I might snoop. It's because I know that it's something that we've both experienced in the past. Therefore, I want her to know that she should be comfortable with me doing whatever I need to do. Same for her. If she needs to look something up while I'm driving, have the phone, have at it, whatever. You know, it's one of those things. It's just how we are. You know, we don't. I benefit from that most of this relationship. I think from the past is technology is not a problem.
Lav and I like know each other's phone passwords and are free to snoop if we want to, but neither of us really want to.
Right.
We're polyamorous. We like tell each other everything we are doing behind each other's backs. So like, there's not really anything to find on the phone.
Well, I'm gonna tell you real quick. She's not very technologically advanced, so most of the things that she needs to do something special, she's like, here. This is yours.
Yeah,
What's my password? That's the only reason I have her password is because she needs to remember it.
You were saying, Dream?
The only okay.
I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. I got distracted.
So the only time I ever use Jen's location for any reason is the Find Device app. One, if she loses it while we're out, she can't find it. Or two, if there's something important that I need to like get approval of to buy, approval of to set up a certain schedule or whatever. If she's not answering because she's either asleep or she's working in the shop or something like that, I'll hit that.
And I ignore all of y'all.
I'll hit that play sound on it, and it makes a really loud sound for her. And then she knows I'm trying to get in touch with her. It's like a backup ringtone. I don't give a shit where the location is. You just gotta call me.
Which is crazy because that thing will tell you some crazy shit sometimes.
Yeah, it had like one day I was worried about her because I called and then I texted because it was almost time for me to get off work, and I knew she probably fell asleep or was at home working or something like that. And I was trying to make sure she was on the way, so I texted her, didn't get a text back, called her, she didn't answer, so I pulled that phone up to try to wake her up, or that app, and when I pulled it up, it said like she was on the side of the road in another town, but she was still connected to the home Wi-Fi, and I was like, the fuck? So I hit the play sound thing, and I heard her voice. She just woke up. Like, you on the side of the road? And I was like, no, I'm at home. I was like, okay.
I had the car. Anyway, later.
But yeah, it's like one of those things.
Want to respond to Arson real quick?
Go ahead. Yeah, my feeds aren't catching up in real time, so go ahead.
So, like, it's not really an invasion to touch other people's phones with their permission. It's just something that needs to be talked about first. So, like, if you grab someone's phone and they've never said, yeah, you can look through it, and you start digging through it, then that's invasive. And, like, I would consider that abusive. But if there's, like, that standing consent there, like I mentioned that I have with Lav and Lav has with me, like, we have anything that's spicy someone sent us is in our, like, secured folders, and we know not to go snooping in the other person's secure folder. And then everything else on the phone we're free to look at.
Right.
The only reason anybody has access to my phone or my computer is if I accidentally die at some point in time. I want them to be able to text you guys and say, hey, they're dead. Have fun. Have a party, take a drink for me, you know.
I mean, I don't want to ever get that text, but I hope if that text ever comes through, it just says, hey, they're dead.
Mister, if that ever happens and someday I die, I know crazy, right? Totally immortal. I want you to come to my funeral dressed up as the Grim Reaper and
I
just
got you.
play the final countdown.
I got
Oh,
you.
you guys.
I'm going to play
we
Final
get back on
Countdown,
track?
Highway to Hell, Hell's Bells. I'm going to have it all.
Oh, that's even better. Play Highway to Hell.
So how about these alpha males? What are something they can do to manipulate or seem manipulative?
Webinars.
They can, like, take this idea of, like, a traditional value that you might respect based on, like, if you come from, like, a Christian family or whatever, and use that as their starting point to be like, this is how you should behave. An example of that is, like, quoting the Bible at you.
Yeah.
God, most people who quote the Bible don't even quote it right, and it pisses me off.
Or they quote it right, but disregard the quotes before it.
Or the quotes that come after it.
Yeah.
We don't talk about those. Those don't matter. It's where you stop talking. That's what matters. What do you have left?
The Cliff Notes version.
The alpha male who is the provider and won't let the wife work because her job is to stay at home and raise the children.
God, I grew up in a family like that. It sucks.
Ugh.
It is totally gross. But if it is consensual, that's different.
Right? No.
Like, with most of these things, if someone goes like, hey, I'm a woman, I want some rich man to pay all my bills and I'll stay home and raise his kids, then fine.
Oh yeah.
Right? More power to you if that's what you're looking for, but it's being forced into that dynamic. That's the problem.
But it's when she decides after the kids are like, you know, a little older, she might want to go to night school, and he's like, I'm not. I'm the leader of the pack.
Right. See, Barry and Nikki was that way. Barry was like, I work, and Nikki said, I take care of the house. And
but they love that.
Right, and that's what worked for them. And she was like, I'm going to go to work. And he's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So another example that I have run into is one of my exes was very fond of weaponry. And one of his tactics when he wanted to be intimidating was to just sit there and clean all of his guns and make me watch.
My dad used to do that all the fucking time.
Knowing
Yeah.
I was terrified of guns.
Had a P225 that he'd sit down and methodically clean anytime he was pissed at one of us.
Swear to God, I heard Alice say a pew pew 25.
P225.
Pew pew.
Can we also talk to any person that wants to listen to this later how gross it is for the dad to intimidate their date with a gun?
Let me guess. It's the only thing in the house he ever kept clean.
No, he actually did a wonderful job cleaning out the bottles of Southern Comfort.
Oh.
Oh, ouch. That hit a little deep there,
That's
Alice.
facts.
Oh. But that's another big one that, you know, these people get into like these manly roles of being a dad of a teenage daughter, and when the boy shows up, I'm gonna show him my shotgun. Like, fuck, he's probably got more guns than you guys. Like, sit down, old man.
God, imagine living down south. We're not allowed to have guns here. I know that's a
Yeah,
controversial statement, but if I'm being realistic, we're not allowed to have guns here. It takes you jumping through 20 hoops and riding an elephant to get one.
Well,
I can
fuck,
walk
I'm
down
coming
to
up
the
there to
pawn
get a
shop,
gun.
drop cash right now, and walk out with a gun.
Yup.
He wasn't
Same here.
allowed to have his either. That's why it was a part of the whole process of removing all of the boxes of guns from their hiding places, because he wasn't allowed to have them either.
Yup.
God.
He was a violent felon.
Jesus.
Yeah, I feel you there. I hate dating violent felons.
That's part of the circle too. Is
Yeah.
usually these types of people have found themselves in trouble with authority.
Or just
Oh,
violence
that's
in
another
general.
thing.
The most
I al-
insidious ones haven't.
I always try to believe that people will change. That screwed me over so badly because people, and I'm not saying all felons because I know it's not all of them. Some of them got in for stupid reasons, and some of them aren't even like guilty to begin with. But the violent ones who convince you that they're good guys, drag you away somewhere secluded, probably aren't the best guys for you, and please stay away from them because don't be like me.
That's how you become a podcast episode.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to my trauma podcast. Today we're talking with Mr.
Mr. means that you end up on a true crime podcast as the subject
Yeah,
of
that
the
one.
episode.
Another Penelope Scott song.
Also, how you end up on Munch. You know, you have enough trauma, you
Yes,
get a free ticket to
dream.
Munch.
Everything's a Penelope Scott song now. This whole podcast.
All right, we're going to get Penelope Scott to sponsor the next episode.
Yeah. Alice can't even tell me I'm wrong because I'm not.
Oh, man.
She has a song for everything. Everything we're
does.
talking about in this episode particularly.
She does.
So I want to take the last 30 minutes to do something really, really important, and that's to find ways to help empower the victims and the survivors of assholes like this. There are lots of ways to help. We all
One
seem to
thing
be victims
I would
or survivors.
like to jump in here real quick before you go into
for it.
ways to help.
Oh, no,
It does
take it
not-
away. I can't right now.
It doesn't make you less of a person or anything lesser to be afraid to get out.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Sorry to move this conversation a little to the left, but we live in a capitalist hellscape, and you need money and resources to survive on your own. And if you're a victim of this kind of abuse, you probably don't have either. So it's
that's
definitely scary to get out on your own.
And it's absolutely okay to be afraid.
Yeah.
That's where it takes allies, even if it's people that have been like cut off from communication. I guarantee you that somebody out there still cares and worries about you.
God, I hate that shit.
That's a big leap of faith that some people have to take. If you get a chance and you get out, you gotta hope that the connections you once had are still there, or somebody's still going to be there for you.
The fact that if you are one of those connections that would help someone get out, and the fact that they can't contact you when all you want to do in your heart is help them, kills me.
So how do we lift up these people that are either victims now or survivors?
So those are two different questions.
You're right. Right.
The victims, there are ways to reach out to resources surreptitiously, and ways that you might be able to do so without like raising concern. Like if there's an active like violent incident happening, call 911 and start ordering a pizza.
That's really become a universal sign for domestic violence.
Another one is like I dropped a link in the private chat for this website called thehotline.org, which will help connect you to resources to try to get away from domestic violence. And if you're in a situation where you might like have to move away from that quickly, one of the things they do is kind of like the Trevor Project. If you had escaped twice while you're on the website, it'll close the window and clear your history. So the person can't pull up your browser history and follow it back to what you were doing.
Very nice.
If you're in like a family situation and you go to a therapist, your therapist should always have a resource for you on how to get away, either an organization or other various programs.
Look, not to be very nonchalant, but if anybody reaches out to me, I just drove 16 to 20 hours to go meet up with some people from the internet. If you need help getting out, I'm not a far drive away.
Mhm.
So let's fucking rock and roll. I'll show up with the whole cavalry. I don't give a fuck.
Road trip. What you doing there? Playing baseball.
I've had a few occasions where I've had to help people out, and like a lot of the time when you're in that space with the abuser, you should just be matter of fact, right? In that moment when you're trying to help the person, you shouldn't be coming at the abuser like, how could you do this? Why are you like that? Like, it's just, we're here to get their stuff. They're getting in the car. We're leaving.
Yep.
And then once
Completely
the person
disregard
is out,
them.
yeah. And then once the person is out of that environment, and as a matter of personal preference, you might be able to go back and have another kind of conversation later.
Right.
But once the person is out and safe.
I will say that getting out and safe, even doing like that where people just come pick you up, can be a really horrible situation. That is how I got my frostbite that's been with me all these years, because I tried to leave and I got pushed outside in -3-degree weather and 5 feet of snow.
Ugh.
So make sure you have somewhere nearby that you can go in case you need to as well.
Mhm.
I was gonna say that it may take an elaborate plan, and it may take months or years, but it can be done. You have to be strong. But it's really happy on the other side. You can help yourself be that way.
And in the vein of probably unhelpful advice, if things get violent, don't be afraid to grab something sharp and make a bitch bleed.
That's right.
Like,
So-
don't feel bad
Yeah.
about needing to defend yourself from a person trying to hurt you.
Cast iron skillets are very helpful.
Fun fact of the day. So we know I grew up in like a domestic violence household and such. Back in the day, my mom clocked my dad with a cast iron skillet. I have that cast iron skillet still. It's a family heirloom now.
I exclusively cook steaks on cast iron pans, so there are plenty around the house.
There you go. See.
And each one is like 12 pounds. They're heavy.
You're not always going to be that identity either. You're not going to always be this abused person.
Yeah.
Anything can be a weapon if you try hard enough.
Yeah. Just when you get out, don't go back. Is the big
No matter
So-
what they say.
If you have a phone and you have some free time, put the police's number in your phone under your own contact information. Like, have your picture on it, have it say your name, because if we go in our phones, our contact information is the first thing at the top. And just have it so that you can hit, like, your own number. It doesn't look suspicious. And they
And
can't hear it ringing because you're calling yourself.
and someone may know better than I do, but I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alice, look this up if you want to. No matter where you are, if you dial your local, like what you know as the emergency number, it should direct you to that country or that location's emergency system, right?
What are you talking about?
So if I'm in the
911?
UK and I dial 911,
Oh, okay.
it should direct me to the right place.
It should,
Oh, okay.
in theory, direct you. I think in the UK it's 999.
Yeah.
It should, in theory, direct you to the emergency number there instead of you having to memorize all the different locations' emergency numbers.
Right.
Not to get off topic, but do you guys know why it's 911? Okay, thank you for giving me the space to tell you this amazing thing. So on rotary phones back in the day, that's the easiest number to be able to dial. Like if you're in an emergency situation where you cannot really think or see that phone, you can easily dial 911 without having to look at it.
Neat.
Fun fact of the day.
I low-key hate rotary phones, but, you know, cool.
Lav,
The noise they Oof.
oh yeah, okay. Lav, I see that you said that about losing a close friend. Have you tried finding them again? I don't know how recent that is. It's a
Oh, yes.
reach out because
That's the thing that sucks about these terrible people to be with, manipulated. Mm-mm.
I have an ex that I call my big bad ex because at the end of everything, she tried to castrate me. Who like kind of did that, but instead of it being like a romantic relationship with the person they were in, they went to all of their friends and started like lying to their friends about what had happened.
Yep.
And it's just like when the big bad X happened, like I lost my entire friend group at that time because they all were decent people and like she was painting herself as the victim and they're the believe the victim type. So
Yep.
That's like one of those red flags that we didn't talk about really is how did we talk about isolation? Oh, okay. How they can isolate all three categories will isolate you for their own benefit.
specifically like a fake dom could meet you in a dungeon and then never let you go back to the dungeon to play.
ugh.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Thanks for reminding me.
Well, talk away.
Ways to go about talking to your local community or your dungeon guards or whatever about the situation and what happened without just being like, hey, you did that thing in front of everybody, because you'll usually probably get kicked out for causing a scene too. But
it'll be worth it.
They would be sabotaging your own connection to the community. That's usually not worth it.
Thank you for being the voice of reason.
Okay.
But
fair
yeah,
enough.
the owners around here have said that either coming and talking to them in private, emailing them, or sending a FetLife message or texting them, any of those ways where you can privately communicate. And then they said they would launch an investigation, talk to some other people around them, figure out what's going on, and then see what they can do about it. But if they decide that, hey, we have proof that this was done, they will alert every other community around about this person so that they can't hurt anyone else.
So the dungeon that I used to be attached to, the way they handled it was you would go talk to the people who were running the dungeon in private and say, hey, this happened with this person. And the first time that happened, they'd let the rest of the dungeon know, hey, we're kind of keeping an eye on this person. We've got some sketchy news about them. And then the second report that they got after we went, hey, we're keeping an eye on this person, that person was just out. If they showed back up, they were being escorted out with a gun.
A Pew Pew 25, probably.
Damn.
Thank you for that, because I do not like guns. I don't even like talking about them. That makes it a little lighter.
So,
Makes me think Looney Tunes and shit.
so as a survivor of some pretty manipulative relationships, if we're going to term it that way, it's really hard to know when you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
It can seem normal. And it can become comfortable. Even though it's uncomfortable, it can become comfortable. This is what my life is. This is what I expect. This is how it should be. And that becomes that manipulation and that gaslighting. At least is that. Good enough.
So 2 points off of what you just said. First, it's really fucking hard to know when you're in there. It also doesn't make you dumb to fall for it or to be victim to it. And honestly, smarter people tend to be better at mental gymnastics. So, like, if you're falling victim to it, you're not dumb. And if you're convincing yourself that it's normal, that's also not an indication that you're dumb.
And usually, we are always more blind when we're in it. Like, yes, this is love.
Yeah. And then the second point. Excuse me. I might have lost what my second point was. We'll come back to that.
Sorry.
Okay.
The phrase, the hell you know, comes to mind.
Thank you, Ray. That helps so much. I can hold my thought if you'd like to finish, now that it's back in my head.
Go ahead.
Following up on the thought of you getting used to being in that abusive situation, it's not a condemnation of you to freak out once you're out. Like, once you're in a safe place where you can start processing what you went through, you're probably going to get really uncomfortable just in that safe place, especially if it's something that's gone on for years and you've, like, convinced yourself that, like, that's the normal or what you deserve.
I like what Rebecca says, is you don't really see it all until you're out, and even then you sometimes gaslight yourself that it wasn't that way.
I see Arson's going to bed. Good night, Arson. Love you.
Good night.
Good night, Arson.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, so
Good night. I'm sorry.
sounds like somebody over there. So to drag my parent on the panel in this, if they're okay with that. So these toxic and shitty ideologies start probably pretty early in life. Now they can happen as they get older, but how could parents help their kids not to become these shitty, toxic people?
Allow them to explore their own lives and, guide them as you would to be a decent person in the context of being a decent person, and not because of your religion or your political views. It has to be a very neutral definition of, this is what you should do to other people. Like, don't be a dick.
I think that question was pointed at the parent on the panel, which would be Ray.
Oh,
Okay. Dream has a kid. We now know Dream has a kid.
I wish.
Actually,
News to me, Dream.
go ahead, Ray.
So, sorry. One thing that I have done with my son in particular, he has several mental diagnoses where, without the right guidance, there is a lot of potential for him to be a dick. So, what I have done with him in a situation where he is being a dick, instead of just saying, hey, this is wrong and leaving it at that, I actually sit down and have the conversations with him of putting himself in the other person's shoes. Teaching empathy and compassion will help combat all of these, having the ability to know how it would feel on the other end of it.
Okay. I like that. I've taught my son to not be a victim, so to speak, of anybody's abuse. There's a friend of his that's pretty close that tends to beat up on him a lot. And at first it was hit him back. So if you're going to hit me, hit him back. If he's going to hit you. But then it became not only hit him back, but let somebody else know that it's happening. Still defend yourself. Don't let somebody punk you down, but defend yourself to the best of your ability. But an adult needs to know about it.
Yeah. I like Lab's answer.
That's an updated for me. Always give the why. Yep.
Yep. It's like if you paint authority as infallible, when they perceive themselves to have that authority, they'll try to force that onto others.
Yeah. And you're going to go to hell is not a reasonable answer as to why.
Well, unfortunately, that's a group of people you'll never break through. You're going to hell will always be a good enough reason for them.
Oh, I know. I got disowned for it.
Oh boy, same. Like 80% of my family calls me an abomination.
Can
You
I
know
call
that
you
iceberg
the Wolfman
meme?
Lala?
Hmm?
I said, can I call you the abominable snow then?
Oh
No.
my god.
Fuck. I had a whole thing planned. It was going to be great.
Too bad.
So, you know that iceberg meme with the Titanic? And it says, you'll never know what's underneath.
Yeah.
Or it says, don't judge me, you don't know who the fuck I am. And the other half of it is the Titanic underneath, and it's like, I know exactly who the fuck you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that got me disowned by my family.
Did they not believe in the Titanic?
Because they took personal offense to me saying that the obvious problem to the Titanic was the iceberg, and that if they think that way, they might just be the problem. You don't know who the fuck I am. Bitch, I know exactly who the fuck you are. You don't seem to have any clue who I am.
Dream, I don't want to undercut your thing, so I'm not going to do it now, but remind me on Wednesday to talk to you about the Titanic and all the reasons I have issues with its story. The metaphor's solid, so I'm not going to interrupt it now.
I have an issue with the fact that it was filmed in a fucking kiddie pool that was painted black, but we're not going to talk about that either.
They should have totally taken the actors out in the middle of the ocean and thrown them in. I would have loved that.
They're building a fucking second one that's supposed to go along the same route. I'm like, you want to sink another ship?
There's no icebergs left.
No, it's the 21st century. This one's obviously going to have guns on it. There's an iceberg floating by? Not anymore.
America.
Look, if they want to honor history with the Titanic, it's got to go down with an iceberg like the first one. You would
Didn't
think
they just
that
figure out?
after everything that's happened lately, people would learn not to fuck around with the Titanic anymore. But apparently they just don't figure it out. It's like the Bermuda fucking Triangle over here.
The Titanic was a monument to hubris originally, and it stayed that way after it sank.
That's great. I love it.
The topic of Munch is sinking like the Titanic.
Well, it's a good thing we're at the end. We only got 2 hours, and only 50% of it was bullshit this time.
Isn't that how long it took the Titanic to sink? Like 2 hours? My goodness. So what do we do with like the world? Like how can we like stop besides being like me? How do we deal with fucking fake doms and incels and alpha males and all that shit?
The spaces that we create, we have to curate, right? So like I have a Discord where I and a bunch of admin friends and people I know IRL hang out, and I am very selective about the people who get to stay there. Like if someone comes in and starts doing some fuck shit, like we have rules on the server, if someone comes in doing some fuck shit and breaks the rules, they get a warning unless they do something that like hurts someone, and then they just get kicked. And like that's what you have to do, like make sure that there's not a space for them.
Oh, this is a double-edged sword.
How so?
Gatekeeping, but the good kind.
That's not gatekeeping, Dream.
Then what
your
is it
boundary.
called, Alice?
Consequences.
Yep. I think
If someone
Jed got
comes
a good
into
word
our-
for it too.
If someone comes into our Discord and starts being a piece of shit on the Discord.
Oh, no. I meant beforehand. I don't know.
follow.
I had an idea.
like-
I said it out loud. It was a mistake, and here we are.
Oh, like who's allowed to be there? Or
Yeah,
like
no,
get the
Discord's
invite?
public. The Discord's public. You just have to show ID that you're legally an adult. So like anyone can come in as long as they're an adult. And I won't apologize for gatekeeping minors out of a kinky server.
Yeah, no. That's fine. That's
I
yeah,
post my
do
nudes
that.
in there. No children, not allowed.
Yeah. That's
But
not
it's
what I
like-
meant. I meant
like- Go ahead.
like the difference between vetting people, which is a good thing, and just saying, hey, you can't come in here because we said so. Like, it
No mean
really,
girls club.
You can totally
it
have a
sounds
mean
like
girl
it doesn't work, but it really is kind of the same thing.
The closest that we have to that in my Discord server is we have a list that I call the no-fly list of people who aren't allowed to join preemptively based on the way they've acted in public spaces or in private with people who are already in the playground. And that, like, to get someone added, there has to be screenshots, right? But on that,
No.
like, we've got like people who are casually transphobic or abusive to members of the server, or people who are racist and gross, or
Yes, but like, I never ever, when I'm talking about something, just mean you in particular, you know?
I recall.
I'm just saying in general.
I'm going to be missing it for a second. I recall a wonderful community that I had like not too long ago, and then I added new people to it, and like it fell the fuck apart because new people weren't allowed.
Fuck that
Excuse
community.
you. Wow,
But I'm
okay.
just saying.
Excuse you. No, you added a bunch of people to that certain community that had nudes of other people in it without their
Well, what's that
permission
going
and
for?
consent.
In the beginning of that whole thing, it was like this is the community for Kingslayer.
Yes, and the community was, you know, us. Us for like the past, like, I don't know, 3 years or so now. And then new people who I don't even know who the fuck they were, and, you know, At least give
So
us
it
warning
was
next
a
time.
lack of communication.
Counterpoint. Dream. My server has a channel where people upload their nudes. And if we don't have a reason to stop someone from coming in, they're allowed in.
Yes, but this was a 3-year-long friendship group.
That
No,
Mr.
this was
said
the
was
community I started last
like,
year. Not that one. They weren't in the, what was it, the...
Whatever
I'm
one
talking
we
about the
had at
toxic
that
group.
moment in time.
Oh, no, the one I added them to was like the community group where we talked about Munch, we talked about articles and all that stuff. Like, that was what that was for. And then the other shit got shared in. That's not my fault. It fell apart. Like, the whole chat's dead. Like, all the cool-ass people we had in there, nobody is in there anymore. I miss that shit. So gatekeeping can be a bad thing.
Well, look,
Rebecca,
you startled everybody in there without warning anybody first, and all of a sudden we woke up and there was a bunch of people in there. We don't fucking know who the fuck they are. And,
Counterpoint, like
at
to
least
steal
Alice has
Alice's line.
warning.
Counterpoint to steal Alice's line. Do you guys, the community that doesn't trust my judgment?
Your
that my
judgment is
line?
kind of fuckery.
Like,
Your
if I would have
judgment's
popped
kind of
somebody up
fucky,
on
though.
Munch,
But those were actually, that was my doing. I added those
But-
people in.
hold on. But even more importantly, about Munch specifically, if I were to pop somebody up that I know is an expert on whatever we're talking about next week, and like, that's just it. It's a Munch, right?
Yeah. Ultimately, this is your show, mister. So, like, if you decide you're bringing someone up, that's kind of the end of it.
Right. But I mean, I would obviously like try to tell you guys, hey, I've got somebody that's going to come up.
Yeah.
You know, just in case like you've got some kind of problem with them or something was wrong.
Mhm.
I would definitely want that to be run by. But I don't know. I was just getting into the whole open communities aren't always as open as they seem.
Don't gatekeep for superficial reasons, but gatekeep for good reasons, like someone going, hey, this person's harassing people on Facebook.
Exactly.
Rebecca, to answer your question, my handle on Discord is Alice, A-L-I-S, Unchained, if you want to send a message. Or you can find me at non-binary void partner and send me a message on Facebook, and I'll drop a link to invite you there.
You know, I've only used Discord like one time. I have a Discord channel for Kingslayer, but I don't use shit about it. It's just there just in case I ever want to like grow it. I use it
Yeah,
for
no, I'm
fantasy
still
football
on
and Madden. Are you still?
Every,
We used it for Madden, and like we were so coordinated with that shit, it was insane.
every trans feminine person I have ever met has a Discord.
I still want to do our fucking D&D Discord because I just got finished with my thing. I call it
Was that
World
World
of
of
Wank.
Wankcraft?
Yeah, World of Wank.
I'm always down for it. Oh,
I just got
what a
finished
rock.
doing the little map thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. Maybe closing thoughts?
I am down for some closing thoughts. I'm pretty sure we've got all the points pretty much covered. Half-assed at least. We half-assed the whole thing. We whole-ass half of it.
I think it was actually a very good Munch. I was listening the whole time.
We're good.
I believed you until you said that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good Munch. We talked about a lot today, and we actually got most of our points across, even if they were like stars in the sky.
So, hold on. You guys keep chatting. I'm going to pop up something I need to see. Next week is all about flirting and foreplay. Rebecca, you said you want to come up? I'm down for that. Everybody else down for that?
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem with that. That seems cool. We know where the kick button is. So yeah, next Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So, I don't know, like it's actually like
Flirting and foreplay. All right.
The naughty guide to build tension.
Sam has to be here for that.
Yeah, I do. I can do the flirting part at the very least.
Nope, we have to have someone to ask the
Teach
question.
me what. Fuck you. Fuck you. We're not reliving the fucking Sims thing.
The
So,
Sims.
You
Ray.
should. That's what you should do. You should pull Sims up, show me exactly what's going on the thing. We could have a whole munch about it, and just listen to how like confused and upset I get about it. I totally consent to being confused and upset on munch if we do that.
Send me a message or somebody a message here, and we'll get you like the link to it, stuff like that. I'm sure somebody here in communication.
Good
But
night.
yeah.
Flirt.
So Ray, what I was going to
Flirt.
say is prepare yourself for next week. Obviously, with it being flirting and foreplay, I'll be near my microphone again, so I'm absolutely going to have a good time.
I am 100% sure we will have a whole bunch of great demonstrations that day.
Oh,
Absolutely.
From
Might
all
even-
the
might even purr on
panelists
stream
here
for
and
ya.
the audience.
So if you guys are interested in any of the other munches and finding out what they are, Mr. has actually made an awesome little poster that has like the next freaking year planned, and I'm really proud of him for that.
they're planned out to December the 18th, just because Alice told me I wouldn't do it that one night. I was like, "Fuck you, watch this. I'm not going to plan out the
Yeah,
next
right.
5. I'm going to
And
plan out the
it
next."
worked.
Thank you.
I'm easy to manipulate like that, okay? You're not gonna do that. Watch me. Watch me. I'll tell you how it works. And
thought it was a
Specifically, I
secret.
said I'll see it or I'll believe it when I see it.
yep. But
And
see,
then Mr. went into fuck you mode.
and that's all it takes. And I know that, and my brain knows that, and I still tell people that. And like, you can say it, and I'm like, that's just because you're trying to get me to do it. I'm still gonna do it. Oh. Big important one, if anybody is still watching, August the 14th, August 21st, and 28th is a 3-part sex ed series. It's going to be a little bit different where we're not rambling on so much. I'm probably going to talk to y'all in the background about like something to specifically cover. We're going to make this more of a educational thing. We might, have slides and such. I don't know, putting all that together now. So whatever. Y'all down for that? I'm down for that.
I'll do intros. Y'all can talk about specific topics.
We're
Don't
gonna
give
put
me
you
too
on.
big of a
We're gonna
task.
put you on reproduction.
No! There's too many babies in the world. Stop it.
All right. Any closing thoughts, anybody, on the alpha males, incels, and fake thumbs?
All 3 of them boil down to entitlement and not giving a shit about consent. Keep an eye out for either of those and run the fuck away when you see it.
In order to not be one, practice empathy, practice compassion, communicate.
Always be open for discussions about things that you think are wrong. If somebody's not, then maybe that's a red flag. Like, it is okay for you to take time to yourself to cool down and then revisit it, but you should revisit it.
Absolutely. If you walk away, make sure you come back to the conversation.
No. Anything from you, Karen?
No.
My favorite one so far.
The closing thought. Incels, fake doms, and the third one I forgot. Again, no.
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 Absolutely fucking not.
So don't overwork the physics of this, but fake doms, alphas, and incels are 3 sides of the same coin. They just express it differently.
Mister, have you ever seen a 3-sided dice?
Yes. No.
They're cool as shit.
No. A 3-sided dice. My brain's not working on that one. having a show here, sir.
Oh.
But
I do have a closing thought.
all right,
that
here we go.
didn't really, I started to, and then we got off topic. We got off an exit. Boundaries are very important for you to keep and hold with yourself and others. If you do that, you will find yourself automatically filtering these kind of people out of your life because they do not respect your boundaries. So it's your job, your boundaries. Know them, enforce them.
I'm sorry, Rebecca, did you just say that three-sided dice are non-binary? Because if so,
Well,
I love that.
By definition, they don't have just two sides.
I mean,
Right?
right.
I'm the technical right, and that's the best kind of right.
It's the worst kind of right, thank you.
All right, well, good night, everybody. We'll see you next week when we learn all about flirting and foreplay.
Love you all. Thank you for being here.
Good night.
X's and O's.
X's and O's, bitches and hoes. Party time.